Rev it up and welcome to Cars Yeah, show number 1806. Be prepared to be inspired.
This is Cars Yeah, where you'll enjoy interviews with inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Mark Green is here to provide you with a fuel injection of automotive inspiration. So get in, sit down, buckle up, and get ready for a wild ride here on Cars Yeah.
Hello, inspiring automotive enthusiasts, and welcome to Cars Yeah. Today I'm in Wilsonville, Oregon, just a couple hours south of where I live here in Gig Harbor, Washington, with a very special guest by the name of Sheri Harbour de Vos. Sheri, welcome to Cars Yeah. Do you have it in gear, and are you ready to release the clutch?
I am ready to roll, Mark. Really happy to be here.
Well, I'm happy to have you, and as I'm saying that, it may be a little bit of a misnomer because we're going to be talking about Ferraris because Sheri works at a Ferrari dealership just south of me, and no more manual transmissions in Ferraris these days, is there?
No, not technically. I mean, certainly we're all, hoping for, to come. I am hoping, I don't know about everybody, but I am hoping, there's going to be some sort of throwback to the gated shifter one day. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine if they bring that back as a special series? Ooh, why not?
Well, yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. Well, before I give you a proper introduction, what's one little thing that most people don't know about you, Sheri?
Oh, my goodness. I was working on tugboats from the time I was 12 years old.
Tugboats. Okay. Now, this is pretty cool because some people we used to know, our kids went to school with their kids. He ran a bunch of tugboats up here, and we got to go out in a tugboat once in the Sound. I live up here in the Puget Sound area, and it was just a fascinating thing. And of course, tugboats just saved the whole world here. They just moved that big cargo ship out of that guy that tried to parallel park in the Suez Canal.
Yep.
Yeah. So why tugboats? Is your parents into that?
Yeah. So I grew up in the islands in Southeast Alaska around Prince of Wales Island, excuse me. And we were in logging operations, and my father had a tugboat because we had a lot of wood that needed to be moved.
Yep.
So I spent days and days and days. I was kind of his relief little flunky there when he needed to take a nap. So that's what I did growing up. Wow. One of many things.
What a life. Well, that's made you tough, no doubt. Yep. Because everyone from Alaska is super tough. So let me give you a proper introduction because now you're in the world of very cool, very, very cool cars. Sheri Harbour de Vos is the marketing and events director at Ron Tonkin Gran Turismo, the Portland Ferrari dealership. After a twist of fate, she found herself working at Ron Tonkin as the marketing director, which later brought her to a time as the director as Avants Portland Car Club, something else she gets involved with. In a few short years, she got entwined in track events, autocross, drives for men and women, exhibits, and auto industry-centric partnerships to excited and feature cars and their enthusiastic owners. Yes, Ferrari owners are a bit enthusiastic. If you knew her, you know her passion and excitement for cars is contagious. As she said, growing up in Southeast Islands of Alaska, it taught her to be very resourceful. And when it comes to mechanical needs, if you arm her with some tinfoil, a paperclip, a rubber band, and a Swiss Army knife, you know what? Sheri can fix anything. She might even be able to fix your Ferrari. We'll be back in just a minute to learn about that and a lot more. But first, a word from our sponsors. So keep your seatbelts on. We're talking Ferraris. We'll be right back. The best way to protect and preserve your vehicles, along with the meanings and memories and experience that they give you, is with a quality-made, custom-fit car cover from my friends at Covercraft. I purchased my first Covercraft cover for my 1967 Ghia way back when I was in high school in 1975. At covercraft.com, you'll find a multitude of indoor options, including form fit, fleece satin, and their very unique View Shield. That's right, you can see your car right through the cover. But it's the sun that you really need to worry about. Quality outdoor options include Weather Shield HD and HP, Sunbrella, Reflect, Carhartt, Evolution, and NOAA. Covercraft protects cars, trucks, motorcycles, RVs, trailers, and watercraft too. Your cover is custom tailored for your special vehicles and manufactured with the quality and attention to detail that's been their standard since 1965. And I've got a great deal for you. If you use the code YEAH21 at covercraft.com, they'll give you 10% off compliments of Cars Yeah. That's right, 10% off. Simply use the code YEAH21, YEAH21 at checkout. Covercraft, protecting the things that move you. Last year, I changed my collector car coverage to American Collectors Insurance. That's who now protects my Porsche Turbo, the one I call my Orange Crush. But did you know they also insure your valuable collections of automobilia and other collectibles? If you're like me, you've invested in a lot of cool collectibles over the years. Those items are valuable, and if you were to lose them in a theft or a fire, well, try to get your normal homeowner's insurance to pay you what they're worth. Good luck with that. American Collectors Insurance provides you with assurance and confidence that your collectibles are fully covered. They insure a lot of items, including automobilia, wine, baseball cards, books, figurines, die-cast models, model trains, glassware, sports memorabilia, toys, and a whole lot more. American Collectors Insurance, they've been protecting us enthusiasts since 1976. They provide you with an agreed value insurance policy backed by a long history of taking care of their clients. Give them a call today for your personal agreed value quote at 866-ACI-YEAH. That's 866-224-9324. Tell them you're a friend of mine, Mark Rains here at Cars Yeah, American Collectors Insurance. Classic car insurance designed by collectors for collectors. Automotive enthusiasts just like you and me. That's American Collectors Insurance. All right, Sheri, we are back. So let's dive a little deeper into the corner. Just the thought of doing that in a Ferrari on the track gets me so excited. Let's talk more about the business that you're doing, what you're doing at the dealership there. We can talk a bit about Avants. It's a nice way to get those beautiful Italian wheels spinning here on Cars Yeah. So grab the wheel.
So being here at Ron Tonkin Gran Turismo as the marketing director, it's been such a joy. And I think you even touched on that. Ferrari enthusiasts, drivers, whatever you are, Ferraristas are so excited about what they drive or want to drive or will eventually get and drive. Just being able to facilitate some of those events and help put, the kids, those 12-year-olds, boys and girls, they know more about cars than I ever will know, by the way. So just having, the opportunity to be able to do things like that through the dealership and through this position has been awesome.
Well, you get to deal with the tifosi, the fans of Ferrari, which are just rabid.
Yes.
The thing about Ferrari, in my mind, having worked in advertising for many, many years and graphics and so forth, and it probably is still true, the Ferrari brand, the logo in and of itself is known everywhere on the planet by everybody.
So the Ferrari brand is the number one most recognized brand in the world today.
It's everywhere. And years ago where I was working, we used to import Ferrari products. In fact, I went to Ferrari, the factory, several times to meet with them and talk about importing Ferrari branded products. And no matter what you put the word or that little horsey on, you could sell it. And not just to people that own Ferraris. Now, I've never owned a Ferrari, but it's one of those cars that, there's something so special. So when did you realize with your career that being there, and you started in a different role that you've evolved into a new role, that being at Ron Tonkin, which is one of those iconic places. I mean, let's touch on that a little bit. How long has the dealership been around?
Oh my gosh, 60s. So
forever.
Yeah, we are the oldest existing dealership in North America, the Ferrari dealership.
That in and of itself is incredible, because when you think about that, you go, wait a minute, how could that be? In the Pacific Northwest, have they always been in the Pacific Northwest?
Yeah. So Mr. Tonkin himself started importing the Ferraris, and he was, selling Ferraris off of the original Chevy dealership showroom floor.
It's amazing to me because you would think it would have started in somewhere like, Max Hoffman in New York or Los Angeles, where you think of where Ferraris are going to be. And when you think of the Pacific Northwest, when I moved here 27 years ago, I was like so depressed because it rains all the time. And I even got rid of my Cabriolet Porsche because I went, I'm never going to have my top down. But there's a large number of Ferrari tifosi up here, right?
Oh, it's incredible, and I like to say we have the inconspicuous Ferrari owner, consumer. They like them gray or silver or black, Certainly you've got your Rosso Corsa Ferraris. Those are everywhere and always, but we have a few less of the red, and they love them. They're not a car also to be driven through the city. Sure, put it at, your valet parking, but certainly the best place to take them are in the back roads out of the Northwest, out in the mountains or wherever. And that's where you want to drive them. So you're not necessarily going to see them. They're out there.
Well, they really are. I had a guest on the show. In fact, two people. Their boyfriend, girlfriend, William Howard and Jamie June. And of course, Jamie's just been anointed nationwide. Yeah, which is incredible. So Jamie.
Yep. Ferrari Club of America.
Incredible. Yeah. And William just went over 100,000 miles in his Ferrari. He drives this thing all the time, everywhere. And you think about Ferrari in the old days, people looked at, they were collector cars. People didn't drive them very much. They were kind of these prize things, but they broke all the time, or they're so much expensive to fix, and they didn't drive them. But now these cars are robust.
It's, and it's truly a testament to the brand and the company for themselves, just saying, listen, please love us, keep loving us. We're here, not only for you, but, for you to be able to drive the car. And so they put on all these amazing warranties. You buy it, you get 7 years of maintenance.
I know, it's incredible. It's like, who'd have thought? Nobody offers that. Even my BMWs have always had 4 years, which even you don't get that with Mercedes or Porsche or any other high-end brand, but 7 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. William says all he's done is maintenance and replace tires on 100,000 miles on a 458. That's crazy.
I keep wondering what's the next one going to be. There's some pretty cool models out there. So when you think about what you do, what's the favorite part of your job right now?
Oh my gosh, there's so many pieces. Well, with Ferrari, they really, the concept is once you are purchasing and you are an owner, you're in the family, which I always think is appropriate when it comes to Italian families.
Yes.
You're in the family. So that means that I have the pleasure of creating experiences to be able to get the family together. So, through the Avants piece, that's a little bit broader. The Avants Portland chapter is a car club. It's separate than, from the dealership, but it's along those same lines. You're bringing people together, you're bringing enthusiasts, you get to, it's not cars and coffee. That's not really what any of the events, we do, whether it's for the dealership and the owners or through Avants. It's really, looking at other people's collections or autocross. I just went to a Ferrari driving school and I got to kind of do a little autocross in an F8 Ferrari. I mean, how fabulous is that?
I'm going to hang out with you. You're my new friend.
Just racing an F8 and then they take you off track and throw you and you get to, throw some cones around with it. I walk through the dealership and spin my watch and rings around because I don't want to touch anything, but boy, they're like, nah, take it out. Let's do it. And I'm like, okay. It's just really understanding the cars in a different way, which is great. But yeah, truly getting the people together and having all these people that love different pieces of it. Some people love the engineering, some people love the design, some people love the people that love the car. That's more me. That's the best part. The people. Yep.
It always comes back to the people here at Cars. Yeah, the cars are just the catalyst. And I want to do a shout out to Adam Kramer, Avants. He's a local guy up here, of course. You got to check it out. I'll put a link on Sheri's show notes page to Avants so you can learn more about that club, that organization, what they do. The great magazine they're putting out as well. And of course, our old friend who's headed south for the sun, Arun Sharma, who was your manager up there. He's just recently left, but he was a guest back in 2017 here on the show. How do you replace that guy?
That's a great question. I got to find a flower suit and maybe, somebody with a beard, but no, you cannot replace Mr. Arun Sharma.
No.
So we'll see, what happens and where things go,
the Dapper Dan, as I called him, always dressed to the T's, and that beard, nobody has a beard like that.
So true.
Yeah, incredible guy. So if you missed my talk with him, in fact, I'm going to get him back on the show once he's settled into his new place in sunny San Diego. I've got to send him a list of restaurants to go to since that was my old stomping ground. So let's talk about inspirations, driving inspirations, people who have been mentors in your life. Who maybe was that person or people, and what kind of advice or help did they give you along the way?
Coming into the auto industry so late in my life, well, not so late, gosh, I have to go, but, maybe a little later than usual. My dad really was probably the hardest worker I've ever met. And still, nobody can really replace that in my head. And so my work ethic is work. A lot of hours, and also just, meeting the people and learning what they're doing and how hard they're working and what they're doing, and to be excited about that. As far as the cars go, kind of going back to my dad, I think it was, Christmas 1980, probably. And I found a book, 100 Years of Cars, at the bookstore. And I'm like, wow, I've got to, Dad will love this. Bought it. Oh, that's great, honey. Great. I think I memorized. It's a huge book. Yeah. Huge. And I think I memorized that thing for the next, 10 years. I still have it. It's on my bookshelf right now. I know where it is.
I've got that book too. I was a Christmas gift from my parents. Yeah. Back in, about that time. It was right before I got married. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that book. But that just sort of set me on the trajectory, and, I remember my mom, it only had certain models of types of cars. My mom went down, and again, I'm from an island. So, you buy things off island, Seattle, Portland, and that includes cars, and they are shipped up via ferry. So I remember my mom was telling me, hey, I went down to Seattle. She's calling me, and I bought a car and it's coming, and I'm like so excited. And I go, and in my head, I could picture it. And it was this, whatever it was, but it was like the hatchback version. And I was mortified. I'm not going to tell you what it was, but I was just like, what did she do?
Wasn't quite what you thought, huh?
But then, of course, it shows up and I'm like, oh, okay. All right.
But
not the hatch. It's the coupe. Yeah. It's the coupe. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, good. Well, yeah, pretty cool. Well, I hear this from a lot of people on the show. And interesting, last month, having interviewed 23 women during Car Month, so many women mentioned their dads as an influence in the automotive sector. So I think that's pretty darn cool.
I'm just going to interject there and say, well, I'm hoping, as time marches on, that, a lot more women and men, when asked the question about auto industry, they'll be referencing their mom.
Their moms. Well,
why not?
Well, the moms are almost, they almost go without saying. I mean, they're just so strong in everybody's life and such a big part of it as well. I mean, they're just so stable. Yeah, for sure.
And
so
you've got so many more women in the industry. Myself, Jamie June. I mean, countless, race car drivers. It's amazing. So I'm really hoping, we'll have more of an influence on the next generations to come.
Oh, most definitely. And for you listeners, if you're new to Cars Yeah, I've interviewed over 300 plus women now here on Cars Yeah. You can go back and find them all. I even gave them in their own category under my resources tab. So if you're specifically looking for women in the automotive industry, and they come from all different parts of the industry too. Last month in March, I had a young lady that just graduated high school going into the tech industry, all the way up to Joan Kramer, who was the first woman hired by General Motors to be an exterior designer on General Motors cars. So
wow,
huge spectrum of ladies here on Cars Yeah. How would you advise others who are going to go into the automotive career?
Gosh, just be excited about it and get around it. Be around it, right? Mm-hmm. Just, network, go to the car shows, go to the car clubs. I mean, work in a tire shop. Like, it doesn't matter, right? I mean, we have, we know people, we have vendors. Mm-hmm. We're a Ferrari dealership, but gosh, we work a lot with a tire shop. And if you're working there and you're super excited and you're a positive, hardworking person, there's an opportunity to get a job. So you never know where it's going to come from or where you're going to come from, but just get yourself into it and be around it peripherally, and eventually it'll happen.
And there's so many ways to do it these days, through social media, through car clubs, through events.
Oh, yeah.
And I've noticed that clubs are becoming to be more and more welcoming to women as well. There's kind of was an old guard for a while there. It was a little staunchy, and it's like, come on, this opens up a whole nother viewpoint to have women involved in the automotive industry. I think it's spectacular. Let's take a short break, and when we come back, I'm going to ask you what I call the challenge question. So sit tight. Keep the seatbelts on. We're driving a Ferrari today. We'll be right back. What began as a charitable car show has grown into the world's greatest collector car auctions, raising over $133 million for charitable organizations to date. For nearly 50 years, automotive enthusiasts from all over the world have enjoyed the Barrett-Jackson collector car auctions, and I'm a huge fan. Regarded as the barometer of the collector car industry, their auctions are world-class lifestyle events where thousands of the world's most sought-after, unique, and valuable automobiles cross the block in front of a global audience, in person, on TV, or streamed online. Barrett-Jackson produces the world's greatest collector car auctions in Scottsdale, Arizona, Palm Beach, Florida, Las Vegas, Nevada, and new for 2021, Houston, Texas. The excitement of Barrett-Jackson auctions is contagious, and a unique experience is not to be missed. And coming soon, something new for you Cars Yeah listeners, I'll be teaming up with Craig Jackson on the first ever Barrett-Jackson podcast, coming to your mobile devices every week. Listen here on Cars Yeah and check out the Barrett-Jackson website for unique details on this new, exciting podcast that I'm very proud to be a part of. And be sure to visit barrettjackson.com today. Barrett-Jackson, the world's greatest collector car auctions. I've discovered Linkage. It's a new quarterly publication and website that covers the automotive market, driving, restoring, collecting, and discovering your passion for motor vehicles. Linkage is about experiences, opinions, and values. Linkage is an actual informed, reasoned opinion based on first-hand experiences. A talented Linkage team covers the automotive world, the people who share your passion and mine, smart, considered, rational, and experienced opinions, ones you can learn from and grow. That includes our passion that drives auctions and the collector car market. So come with me and join us on this journey. Join Linkage. Linkage, geared for the automotive life. Subscribe today at linkagemag.com. And don't forget, when you're subscribing, use the code CARSYEAH and they'll give you $10 off. All right, let's talk about a big challenge you've faced. A big obstacle, huge wall in front of you, maybe even a failure. That doesn't matter so much as how you overcame it, and more importantly, what did it teach you so you can move forward in a positive way? So take us on a bit of a wild drive.
Mark, that's a tough one. I have no failures.
Well, there's a good way to start. Look at them as all positive, right?
They are all positives. I've learned a lot.
Yeah, learning experiences.
I have moved a lot in my life. And, again, as I'm getting a little older, I realize that it's truly the support of my peers and my family and, whomever I've kind of built up around me that helps me succeed in all life challenges, whether it's work or personal or whatever it is. So moving around, you tend to move into a new city, then you got to rebuild all of that. And so, if you're going through, again, tough times with personal or work or whatever, who are you going to rely on? Who's going to help, pick up your kid from school or, all of that. So as a parent, that was very challenging, very, very challenging. So I think learning that and being able to build up a great community around me, maybe to a fault. I love my friends. I love my coworkers. And, I'm there for them no matter what time of day. And I've never been really great at asking for help. And that's really what I've learned to do. Just really ask for an assist, a push, an introduction, whatever that is. Ask if you can help pick up my kid from school, whatever that is. And, really I kept telling myself finally, like, Sheri, geez, you would drop everything. I would drop everything and anything to help whomever. Yeah. And so finally I'm like, they would probably do that for me if I really, really need it, So just really learning to just ask and accept it.
You touched on an important thing here, because if you're the type of person that perhaps is shy, I know my wife moved a lot because her family, they were in the military. Her father's a Marine. And that was a real challenge for her because she's a bit of a shy person. And every time she'd start to get a friend or two, they'd move. Mm-hmm. And then they move again. And what she learned was they made a move to South America. And that was one of the best things that ever happened to her, because she ended up in a foreign country, foreign-speaking people, but she ended up in what they called an American school. And everybody there, she tells me, helped her to learn that it's okay to ask for help and not to just withdraw if you're shy and go, well, I guess I'm not going to, why bother making any friends here? I'm just going to leave them again in a year and a half. And that really helped her. And it was in an important part of her life, late junior high, high school, very formative years. And so those are times when you really start to blossom, or you can retreat and you hope you blossom and go the other way. So I think that's a wonderful golden nugget that you've dropped on us there, a value bomb, I call them. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help, because especially in the car world, people love to help. That's what I found. Right?
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
So are there some things in your bucket list that you'd still like to accomplish, either in your business or your life?
Yeah, coming into the auto industry in the last few years, again, loved cars from almost day one, but didn't, have the opportunity to really come in at such a deep level. Now I'm here, and, you kind of hit it on a little bit with the car clubs. I haven't experienced, as a woman not being welcome or anything along those lines.
That's because you show up in a Ferrari.
Not always. But, if I do experience it, I probably just ignore it, so there's that.
Yeah.
But just being a positive influence in the auto industry, whatever, if I'm on the showroom floor, if I'm at an event, if I'm invited to somebody's garage, I'm so excited about these cars and about the people and about the cars. So just being a positive influence in that respect, and increasing or promoting, I should say, maybe women in the motorsports piece of it. I don't want it to be an exception that, if there's a driving school or race school, that there's one woman and 15 men. I want it to be a little more equal, a little more even, a little more accessible for women to have those opportunities, and for, it not to be, oh my gosh, look, she's here, type of thing. Again, back to my dad, I was never, ever, he never questioned, no matter what it was. Hey, go grab that rope, tie that up. Hey, let's go, let's go grab the gun. We're going to go do the, never, ever even occurred to him that I would not be able to do something.
He instilled a lot of confidence.
Yeah. And it's, I think that boys just are lucky enough to have people, approach them like that from their birth. And girls are different. We're told certain things, be quiet and be respectful and smile and, just smile, look pretty, that type of thing. And it's just a little different, coming at us just a little bit differently. I was talking to a woman a few days ago, and we were talking about getting her into race school, essentially. And then, kind of how we're going to progress her through that. And she said, she's super excited. She just wants to drive cars fast. And, and I'm like, well, why aren't you now? And she goes, well, I was always told, or heard, women are bad drivers. And so, that was always intimidating. Or if I'm at the track, there's jokes being made. And even though, they think they're being funny, it still has certainly still has effect. So that's still all happening and whatever. I don't want to get too deep into that, but just being a positive influence and trying to make it, so women in motorsports, and it's not the exception. It's more the standard, more the rule.
But what are some of the things that you do to help involve or bring more women into these events, especially around the Ferrari mark?
It's really making it, I call it normalizing it, right? Just be around it. If you're standing around the cars all day, every day, if you're listening to them, sitting in them, going driving, a lot of times I will take someone out. Let me take you out. Let me take your wife out for a test drive. Just her and I. That's a very different experience for, the wife that comes in is like, oh, I'm afraid to drive the cars. He thinks I'm going to, bugger up the rims. I haven't yet, but he keeps telling me, blah, blah. Anyway. And I'm like, all right, let's figure this out. So stop it. Yeah. Let's just drive it. Just drive it. It's worth it. And, that's so having the events, making sure that, the spouses, the friends, the partners, having all female events, this is something that I worship about Jamie June. Mm-hmm. I will support her till the day I die. I think she's a powerful person and, has really made a little niche for herself in the auto industry. And just bringing women on board and doing all female drives. I just did a winter SUV drive with her. And, it's, on one hand, I don't want to exclude anybody. So when you're doing an all female drive, sure, you're excluding the guys. But, we got to make up a lot of ground. I guess I'll put it that way. So, getting the people comfortable in their cars and just being able to do and go and having nobody criticize them or what they're doing and how they're driving is a pretty powerful thing.
Yeah.
Autocross days, race days, track days, so everybody in the dealership, they know if they're selling a car, they come, and if it's a woman involved, make sure I meet them because I'm going to be all over it. Oh my God, what's your email? Track days 2 weeks from now. Oh my God, what do you drive? It's going to be great. It's just having somebody being excited for you. And, I just hope I can continue to be that person.
You can go back, listeners, and find my talk with Jamie. And she spells her name a little bit different, Jamei, June. You can also follow her on her social media, but just find her on my website. I have links to all of her pages and so forth. Yeah, she's a wonderful powerhouse, especially for empowering women to get out in cars and drive and have some fun. Tell me about a special vehicle in your life. This could be a car you've owned, a car that you aspire to own. What is it?
So my first car, which, thank you, Mom. Love Mom. She bought the cars. Mom bought the cars. Mom had great taste in cars. She bought me a 1975 Celica GT.
Oh, I love those.
Oh, God. It was so much fun. It was beautiful. It was black. It was great. It was just so pretty. I drove that thing. Which I put a lot of miles on that car, which is hard to do on an island, basically with one road.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, loved that car.
Those things were so cool. And those things were, I met my wife, she was driving one of those. I figured, okay, this is a cool chick, right?
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, but those cars they were bulletproof motors too.
Yeah.
Toyota's probably one of the best types of cars. I had a great lady guest on the show who they have a whole series of cabs they run. And she said, when we switch from Fords and GM cars to Celicas, Toyotas, not Celicas, but Toyotas, best cars we ever had. They last 3 times as long. Just robust. But I love the looks of that car. So cool.
Yeah. So cool. Mom said she found it on the back of a lot. Hadn't even been washed yet. I just been traded in. And she's like, I'll take it.
Well, and brave having a black car in Alaska where the weather's a little suspect. So
how do you keep
that clean?
Well, that's funny. I washed my car every Saturday or Sunday, whichever, once a week for years. Yep. The wax buildup on that was solid.
Oh, yeah. They're awesome looking cars. And they're one of those things that if you can find one anymore, because most of them all rusted away. They didn't, well before galvanized bodies and so forth. They're really become collector type, iconic collector items for cool. I'm going to crawl in your head a little bit here, Sheri. If you woke up tomorrow and you were manifest as a vehicle, not what you want to be, but your perceptions of yourself in a vehicle, what would you be? But more importantly, why?
Oh my gosh. Mark.
I know. Sometimes I ask some weird questions.
I don't know. Would I even be a vehicle?
You work at a Ferrari dealership. Yeah.
Yeah. I would, I know. I would be, my point is, of course, the cars are great. Ferraris, Maseratis, whatever it is, Toyotas, Celica, GTs. That's a tough one for me. I love them all. I love them. You give me chrome, I'm going to be something that's just, a little P1800 Volvo, right? Bring it.
Okay.
Bring it.
Well, here's the deal with this question is you think about your personality. So I've had people here that are Formula One cars down to, my guest yesterday was a Volvo station wagon. She just said, I'm rock solid. I'm pragmatic. I just get down, get the work done. I'm not very fancy sometimes, but I can get you there safe and sound. So if you think of it that way, is there anything that pops to mind?
Yeah. It's, I'm a little sneaky, right?
A little sneaky. I'm a little
showboaty, but I'm also behind the scenes and making sure every little T is crossed and I is dotted. But, I'm kind of showy. So definitely reliable. Very reliable, but a little bit showy. So what's that? What
would that be? Reliable and showy.
And showy. Maybe a Ferrari.
Well, maybe a new Ferrari. Let's
2021.
I think you could get away with that today. Now, most people would go, wrong. That's too easy. But no, showy and reliable, and you work. Okay, I'll give you that one. I'll let you get away with that one. Yeah. Now, which model though? Okay, we got to break this down a little deeper because there's a pretty wide variety of cars that Ferrari produces these days, from a touring type, the classic touring Ferrari, which is pretty cool. If you think about the super fast, beautiful kind of touring car all the way up to the Monza SP2 or SP1, kind of wild. The Roma, maybe, but I think you want the top down, right?
I'm going to go with the F8 Spider.
Oh,
I'm going to be the F8 Spider, because we've got that V8, we've got the turbo. And so, I'm steady, I'm fast, but if I need to put in another 6 hours and get it done and little, turbo action, I can do that too. But yeah, let's put the top down when needed. Sun's out. But I'm also, let's put the top up and you'll never know it's a convertible. I can kind of be a all city, all weather car.
Yeah, it's a really pretty new car they've produced there. It's just, it's, to me, it's classic Ferrari. I guess you could call that mid-engine, right? The engine's behind you there. So yeah, it's just a beautiful, beautiful car. So let's take it one step further here. I usually don't go this deep, but we're talking Ferraris today.
Bring it. Bring it,
yeah.
Mark.
Okay. Color. What's it going to be?
Oh, Verde, British.
Ooh, green.
Green, baby.
Oh, okay. Very, very.
See,
okay.
That have the love of the old Jag.
Yeah.
Right? With your tan interior, but I'm going to put it in an Italian machine.
Okay.
Why not?
Why not?
Can I do that?
You can do whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds pretty cool. I love it.
Yep.
So when it comes to giving back to others, and I found that after interviewing so many people, as we are happiest as human beings when we help others, it's maybe a way, and you've touched on this a bit with the car club, with Avants, that you like helping others get into the automotive sector.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Connecting people. It's about, the inclusivity, the, men and women alike, providing opportunities for them to really find out what they want to do, how they want to participate, who they want to talk to, how you want to talk to them. Maybe you just want to walk around and look at the cars and take pictures and you're good with that and you leave. Maybe you want to stand around, bring your own car, pop the hood, open it up, let kids sit in it, meet people and help people get it excited about what you're excited about. With Avants, we do everything. If you're just track and you want to track your car and you're going to be on there, every weekend of the year, Avants is great for that, but we're not going to be that club. We're going to provide those days, but we're also going to do autocross and we're going to do, private car collections that you can only get into while, being a club member. But seeing those car collections, maybe that's your jam. Maybe that's what you want to see, those crazy, collections with the P1800, but also the 2021 Roma. So that's what it's about. But, jobs. Yeah. People are networking at these things. And if you want to get into the auto industry, maybe you want to work at the racetrack. I know people. So,
I know people.
I do. And I am happy and known to be sending out I'm always looking for people for jobs, in the industry. And I'm shooting emails out. Hey, you're looking for a job? My God, you would totally, fit this bill.
Very
I
cool.
love that.
I love it.
So I guess that's my giving back, is just, helping people see their potential.
Perfect.
And if it's in the auto industry, then let's do it.
Let's do it. Now, how about a book? Is there a book you'd like to share that you've read?
Can I cuss on here?
No, family-friendly show, Sheri. So you got to keep it, unless it's in Italian, nobody will know, except for the Italians that are listening. Do have some listeners over there in Italy, so.
It's all, we should always do some self-reflecting.
Uh-huh.
And I, when I have time, and trying to do that and kind of, figure out what's happening in my brain. But a recent book I have loved and I've recommended countless times is Unbleep Your Brain by Faith Harbour.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Got it.
But it's truly about, I like data. I like reasons. Why, right? I ask a lot of why. And this is truly a science, a lot of science behind triggers, whether it's we all have PTSD in one form or another, whether, it's, your old boss is calling you on your cell phone that has a certain ring and you hear that ring and it's like, ooh, whatever that trigger is. But, the book really explains the science behind, why you do things or why you react to things. And, we all need to move forward and, quickly, as quickly as we can, I guess. But anyway, that's a great book. Unbleep your brain.
Yeah, un-F you, and you know the rest, your brain. And we keep it family friendly thanks to my controller, Chris, who's a listener friend of mine. Chris, good morning. He listens every day, and if one slips through, he lets me know. It's a wonderful book. The subtitle is Using Science to Get Over Anxiety, Depression, Anger, Freakouts, and Triggers. I think it's a great idea, and yeah, sometimes you get upset and you don't even know why you're upset. You're like, why do I not feel good right now? Well, you need to understand why and figure out how to work around that. So yeah, unbleep or mess up your brain. That's a perfect one. We're going to have another quick break with our sponsors. We come back, the ultimate drive. I think I know what we're going to be having fun with. So sit tight, keep the seatbelts on. We'll be right back. I'm honored to say that my charity of choice here at Cars Yeah is Tech Force Foundation. They help young people find an education and career that aligns with their passions. For those who love cars, problem solving, and working with their hands, a career as a professional automotive technician is the perfect fit for a fulfilling life. We're all wired differently, and not every successful career demands a 4-year university. Technical education and the skilled trades matter, and we need qualified, skilled technicians to keep our vehicles rolling. Learn more about how you can support tomorrow's driving force and workforce of technicians at techforce.org, like I do here at Cars Yeah. All right, we're back. So I have a magic scepter, and I can arrange for you to go on the ultimate drive. So you get to pick the car, who you're riding with, could be somebody living or somebody in the past, who's driving the car, and what are you going to be talking about? So who, when, where, how?
Well, I'm going to shake it up a little bit.
Okay.
First of all, I'm going to go with my mom. So
Nice.
I lost my mom about 5 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She was a huge influence in everything I do to this day, including the auto industry, because she, like I said, picked out the cars.
Picked out the
She had great,
Yeah, thanks, Mom.
great taste in cars. Yeah. So she's going to be driving. So I'm going to pick out her car, 1958 Corvette.
Ooh.
And that was her dream car. And we're going to be driving, and we are going to take turns driving, because she loved to drive, as do I. Love to drive. I'm not a great passenger, and neither was she. I learned that from her.
Are you going to be along the coast or in the country or the mountains or?
Oh, coast.
Coast.
We're going to go 101. And
Nice.
we might even keep going. Let's just head to Chile.
Okay, all
just
the
keep
way
going.
down. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Why not? I ran into a guy last year, actually. No, gosh, now it's been 2 years. I can't believe. Last year just kind of was a terrible year, right? And he was driving all the way from Patagonia all the way up to Alaska. An old VW van, and he was documenting it on YouTube and Instagram, and he happened to be here in the Pacific Northwest, and my wife and I stopped at a lookout at not Browns Point, but Point Defiance, and he was sitting there, and I went over and started talking to him about his van, and there you go. So yeah, that's a nice long drive. So there you go. I think that'll be kind of cool. Drive with Mom in the Corvette. A very long drive. That's
very long.
Yeah, very long.
I'm going to take all the time, take back all the time I can get with it.
Yeah, boy, that would be wonderful. Well, my condolences for your loss. I understand. And that'd be a pretty cool ride. The Magic Scepter would make things very nice. You have taken us on a great ride today. This has been really fun. Before I let you go, could you offer us a little parting piece of wisdom or guidance about life, business, or whatever you want to share?
Just be kind. Be kind and support your peers and empower others. It's shocking how much joy you can get from, again, letting somebody else see their potential and helping them reach that potential.
And it doesn't take much to be kind to anybody you encounter. And it's just, this day and age, so important, especially with what we've been through. Just be nice to everybody you encounter. And I love your idea of empowering others as well, helping them be more powerful. I always say, encourage someone, anyone at any moment of any time during the day. You'd be amazed what that does for their inner thoughts, right? It un-F's their mind.
Yes, it does.
There you go.
It does.
What's the best way for people to keep up with you and learn more about Ron Tonkin Gran Turismo and Avants?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. I'm pretty active there at Running Wild in Oregon.
I love it.
Can't miss me. And then Facebook and LinkedIn, you can find me Sheri Harbour de Vos. Yep.
You can also find everything on Sheri's show notes page. Just go to carsyeah.com, type in Sheri, Sheri. Her last name is Harbour, Harbour, little D-E-E, and Vos, V-O-S, 3 words, Harbour de Vos. So there you go. Everything will be right there. Sheri, thank you for being so generous today with your time and your expertise and your enthusiasm and your inspiration. We wish you the best. Can't wait to get down there to see you and see the Ferraris. Until you and I talk again, I'll see you, hopefully on the coast, down the road.
Mark, this has been my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for what you do for the auto industry.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's ride here at Cars Yeah. Drive on over to carsyeah.com to find show notes and inspiring automotive fun. Download your free copy of Filler Up, a fun book filled with gorgeous photographs of fuel filler fun, including quotes from more inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Download your copy today, and we'll see you next time on Cars Yeah.